Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading Ceremony for the Total Dissolution of Resentment by Reverend Myung Moon, May 1st, 1975, Chung Lake, Korea. There should not be any resentments against fallen man remaining on God's part. God may work to restore fallen men. However, mankind cannot truly go back to God while standing in the same position from which he caused God's sorrow. True parents also cannot hold any grudge or resentment if they are to stand in the position of parents for the three historical ages: Adam's age, Jesus' age, and the age of the second coming. All resentment against the world or our enemies must be resolved. God's grudge can only be resolved through those standing in the position of parents. God's grudge can only be resolved when true parents appear and dissolve their own grudge. The mission of the Lord of the Second Coming will be to connect the spiritual foundation of Christianity to a new physical foundation. This is the mission of the Unification Church. Blessed families ultimately must appear in front of the nation and the entire world, and afterwards all the members of the entire Unification Church must also appear before the world. Today our movement celebrates its 21st anniversary. This is the last period of the second 7-year course. It is April on the lunar calendar, and I, as an individual, am going beyond 30 years of my ministry. This is the period in which we must perform the ceremony of the dissolution of resentment. We must first dissolve the resentment of God. Next is the dissolution of resentment of true parents. We must also solve the resentment of Mrs. Won Pak Che, who is celebrating her 60th birthday. Mrs. Che stands in the position of a mother and true woman in the fallen world. In this ceremony, she will establish a condition to indemnify all the failures of women in history. So the spiritual world and the fallen world up until today must all be indemnified, centered upon Mrs. Che. There is a Cain world where people are connected from Lucifer to Judas and Nero, all the way through the Communist Party today. Upon this altar, we must perform the dissolution of the resentment of Christianity, religious people, philosophers, conscientious people, good soldiers and loyal subjects, children of the Cain world and the angelic world. Until now, evil spirits have taken all kinds of measures in order to dominate this world. But from now on, that direction will be changed so that the side of goodness can perfectly digest and conquer everything. After the creation of the worldwide foundation, the next opponent will be the Communist Party. One can go to the world level only after the creation of the foundation of the nation. Beloved Heavenly Father, we know the sorrowful fact that we could not accomplish the great work of your creation on the earth. How much did Adam and Eve's failure give grief to you? And how hard you have worked in order to resolve this sorrowful resentment. You made all the sacrifices by leading many saints. You led the way throughout the long history on the earth so that the standard of the true parents could be set. You set the standard of true parents in this land of Korea, centering upon this Unification Church. Thinking about all of this once more, I am a deeply grateful son. When I traced your sorrowful heart in this course of restoration, which has been full of resentments, and when I thought of the most sorrowful fact of the failure of the human ancestors, Adam and Eve, I pledged to inherit your heart, to change the path on which they betrayed you, and to give devoted service to you. Since the day I was born, I have followed your will, and in my ministry the days and months of 30 years have passed. During this period there was an internal grief in your heart and in the mind of your son which could not be spoken to anybody, could not be shown to anybody. I have wished for the day when I could go beyond the limits of race and dissolve your resentment by all means, to dissolve the resentment caused by the miserable crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. I am very grateful for the surprising fact that the very day my wish can be fulfilled is May 1st, 1975. This day marks the 21st year of the creation of this unification movement, and this is the time to finish the second 7-year course, the course of indemnity for world Christianity. Heavenly Father, you grieved when you had to greet the fallen human ancestors. You grieved when you sent Jesus to accomplish your will, and yet he was crucified. You grieved when the many Christians who followed your Son were killed, and when many religious people had to sacrifice themselves. God, I know how great your sorrow was to have seen all these things. I know you have been sympathizing with all these miserable people whose resentment has not been resolved yet. Father, this is the family of true parents which you have been seeking, and the body of true parents which you have been seeking. This day, here is your son and your daughter in front of you, Heavenly Father, and your children have gathered at this place, centering upon your son and your daughter, and we are praying here, so please accept this prayer. I am grateful for this day when I can offer the Lost Foundation centering upon the family in front of you and centering upon the foundation of this nation and race. I pray this day will become a day to accomplish the dissolution of the resentment of the true parents and to dissolve the resentment of the angels as well as resentment in your own mind. The grudges of God, of true parents, of the angelic world, of Christianity, Confucianism, Buddhism, Islam, and all the religions which were working behind each race in the entire world are all connected to this dissolution. I am grateful for this day and for this ceremony which allows the dissolution of the resentment of Father, of the true parents, and of Mrs. Che. Now, on this joyful day, a group is born who can establish the sovereignty of the nation of the Heavenly Father. Please unite other conscientious people, philosophers, good soldiers of each nation, civilians of each nation, and all those many spirits who helped each nation go the path of goodness in order to advance into the heavenly kingdom. We have been able to achieve the liberation of true parents, the angelic world, the religious world, the conscientious world, and the good soldiers and loyal subjects. But I know that there is also the miserable Cain world, which has opposed God, opposed religion, and opposed conscientious people throughout history. I ask you to forgive the Cain world, not to make them enemies, but to let them stand in a position to spread God's principle completely. Let them become the shadow of the substance, to go wherever the substance goes, just like a shadow cannot exist without a substance. Father, I wish to dissolve all the scars of your mind by fulfilling the standard which Jesus desired. I know that Jesus had resentment within himself too, walking the path of death alone. I know your resentment cannot be resolved unless Jesus' forgiveness for his enemies is accomplished on the earth. I pray that Jesus' liberation can begin at this time, and the liberation of Christianity can begin at this time. I sincerely ask you to forgive all these sorrowful events of history. I know that this is a very solemn time which enables us to prepare for a new turning point in the midst of the confusion of this world. Please accomplish everything on the racial and national level which you have been trying to accomplish by the restoration of indemnity centering upon Cain and Abel. By doing so, I sincerely wish to claim one day when even the communist world will bow its head down in front of the happiness of God and respond in heaven's victorious position. Today, Vietnam was subjugated by the communist camp. I pray that this becomes an offering representing the satanic world, and that it will become a starting point to re-indemnify the communist world, so that they can surrender in front of God and the world, starting from Korea. Centering upon God at Pyung Lake, on this very day, at this very time, in this very place, the entire spirit world is paying full attention. The entire angelic world is paying full attention. God is paying his full attention, and the true parents on the earth are paying full attention. All Christianity, all religions, all good nations, all loyal subjects are paying full attention, and the communist world is paying full attention. I offer this on this very day, expecting only that Heavenly Father shall embrace this offering in his bosom. So please receive this as I leave it all to you, Heavenly Father. I sincerely wish you to receive this as your victory, and I declare it all in the name of the true parents. Amen. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. My name is John Brooker. You can reach me through commentary on this video or through my Gmail listed here. Please share this video with family and friends and on social media. May God richly bless you, my beloved.